Hey everybody, the Rites here, and welcome back to more of Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. Okay. Right, well it might have been 2 weeks, but it's time to get on with the trial. I don't quite remember what happened. I know we examined the crime scene, and we found a few things. The blood-stained letter, the arrow, the envelope. Okay, yeah, there's a few things. And then we ended up getting, like, threatened by the minister, or whatever the bloody hell he is. Alright, let's go. I wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday. But if I can figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe... Nick, today well... Don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. You would do well to cease this insanity while you still can. Oh, it's her. Rafa. Is it Rafa? God, I don't remember anybody. Can I see her profile? I need to familiarise myself on everybody again. Sad Marty, that's his name. What are you called? I was right. Rafa Padma Karayan. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this. You shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last time. The moment she is found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found. The truth, you say? I knew that smoke was coming. Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be... your very last trial. Yeah, sure. Given the fact there are 2 more, I would have to say you are incorrect. Are there 2 more? Yeah, there are. I can't remember if there was. There's 2 more and then the DLC trial. Or episode. Nick. I'm going to prove you innocent, Maya. You'll see. After all, you have to introduce the plumbed Punisher, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo. Neo Twilight Realm to the folk back home, right? Right. I may be a defendant this time. But I'll be by your side like always, Nick. Thanks, Maya. This place is tough on lawyers. I'll need all the help I can get. Plus, it's always good to have you on the team. Well, it's time. Let's go. Oh. Wait, so she's gonna be on my side? Like, by me on the bench? Really? Well, I'll be. I thought she wouldn't, you know, be next to us. Yeah, she is. Oh, that's so weird. Court is now in session, all rise. That's new. I mean, it's not a new thing to show, it's just, it's new to be shown in Khura'in. Let the trial of Maya Fey begin. The defense is ready, Your Majesty. Of course. Huh? Is he gonna mention our putrid soul? Quiet. Can't you see Prosecutor Sadmadi is absorbed in silent prayer? Great. The trial's barely started and the judge is already mad at me. He's very... devout? Whatever, for a prosecutor. Why is the accused standing over there? Oh, well... Your Majesty. In addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant. The accused is your assistant, you say? Very well then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul. Grand. Oh wow, that's a new expression. That wasn't very nice. She also looks slightly cross-eyed. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyers seems to be a custom of sorts here in Khura'in. I must say, I am surprised to see you still here in Khura'in, Mr. Wright. And even more so to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. I cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life in yet another trial. The answer is simple, Your Majesty. I am a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Although, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. Oh, here's a butterfly. Such foolishness. Ah, Prosecutor Sadmadi, are you ready to begin now? Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. But first, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of hell. Thus shall the soul of the victim attain salvation. Splendid! I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Sadmadi. Oh dear. Please save the victim's soul, Prosecutor Sadmadi. Punish the wicked lawyer who dares to stop these last rites. I think I'll pass on that whole fire and brimstone deal. But I'm not surprised by your words or stance, considering what Apollo's told me about you. So, it was you who instilled that putrid loyally guile within him. Putrid what? He too must soon face the fires, lest his soul be lost to redemption. Well, you lost to him, so what's that say about you? But I shall send you on ahead so that he will not be lonely when he arrives. Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. People say I never know when to give up. Nervous, Maya? A little. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. It has, it's been 2 games. Yeah, it has been 2 games. Well, Apollo Justice we didn't play as Phoenix, and Dual Destinies it was always... Wait, it was always Athena that was by our side. We never had Apollo by our side. We either played as Apollo and had Athena as our assistant, or we played as Phoenix with Athena as our assistant. Because that's when Apollo decided to go off and do his own thing. Weird. Too bad I'm the defendant. Don't worry. We haven't lost a case together yet. You're right. Let's give this everything we've got, Nick. Now then, Prosecutor Sadmadi, would you please explain the case at hand? Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin the last rites of the victim. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. The victim of her heinous crime was High Priest Trust in Me. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain. And the cause of death? Let us review the victim's autopsy report and the crime scene photo, shall we? Oh dear. The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the Warbard dagger, which was used in the rite. However, the weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched. A sacred relic used as a tool of murder. The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe. The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had donned Lady Kira's sacred robes, and the victim was there to offer prayers as a high priest of Kyrainism. During the rite, the victim and accused were the only 2 at the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey. Yeah, but what about the lantern? The broken lantern? And the snow that was swept away? I must say, that does cast a great deal of suspicion upon the accused. Indeed. Now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case. We've got the inner sanctum diagram. A diagram of the scene of the High Priest's murder shows where the lanterns and the Warbard statue are. Okay. In Kyrainism, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya Fey's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling. Woohoo! There, she shall be tickled without end for 500 million years. That is a terrible fate indeed. Will the defense care to respond? And here I thought the lowest level of hell was the hell of back pain. I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it. Oh, damn. As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the High Priest in the first place. Objection! The only thing I don't like about Sadmadi is His animations are so long. I thought you might say that. Nevertheless. The meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here in the Hall of Justice. For all will be made clear by her benevolence, Rafa Padma Karine's insights. You mean the ones that we've disproved previously? So it is, and so it shall be. The divination seance reveals the truth for all to see. Here we go again. Bailiff, please show in the royal priestess. I will admit, the divination seances are, like, one of my favourite parts of this game. Pardon me. They're just really cool. It's Princess Rafa! Oh, how beautiful her benevolence looks again today. Glory to the Holy Mother for this blessed day. As popular as ever, I see. Rest assured, good people of Karine, I will defeat this murderer and her abettor. But you won't. They shall not escape on their freedom expressed today. Oh gosh. I forgot she had no idea what that meant. What a joy it is to have the Royal Priestess back in the Hall of Justice. May the Holy Mother grant us her divine favour. It's Urdihara Karine. So it's Urdihara. She sure looks pleased with herself. Yeah, she found out what freedom express meant. Especially for someone who didn't know what a freedom express was until yesterday. Is there something stuck to my face, barbed head? No, nothing, your benevolence. Now then, your benevolence. The divination seance, if you please. Very well. Nena, my robe. I do like how she just slides in and out of scenes. Wait, she's doing it behind the witness stand?
Oh, Holy Mother.
Oh yeah.
We hold this divination seance in your name.
Forgot there was voicing. Or voice acting. I forgot it was voiced. Oh yeah, you have to click. My bad.
Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Do we get to see the dance too, or not? Oh, it does show the dance. Nice. And every time I hear the music, I'm just like, ooh, Artanelico. I don't know why it reminds me of it so much, but it really does. I think it's just Artanelico has very similar music. But if I had to say, I'm not entirely sure what song it reminds me of the most. It kind of reminds me of the title screen theme. Sort of. It looked like she nearly fell over. Damn. Where's the standing ovation? So now we get to see the victim. It's like the last memory, innit? Oh, there we go. Well, there's Maya. He looks away. Oh, is this like part of the ceremony? Oh, okay. He's reading the scroll. Oh god. Wind. Incense, footsteps. Pain. Why? That looked like he got sucked into that. Okay. The victim's Mitama has spoken. The divination seance is complete. Great. Another clearly incriminating seance vision. Could not be any clearer, all foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Kira and then attacked the victim. Oh, how very terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Kira lit against the dim lantern light. The scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horror Abbot in me must have felt. This is a very silent courtroom. I like it. The facts as presented by her benevolence are indisputable. But that wasn't me. Do something, Nick. I'm working on it. That couldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle. The accused committed this vile act during our ancient tradition, the purification rite. Come to think of it, the Rite Guide explains the multi-part purification rite in detail. I keep wanting to say ritual. Okay, so that's clearly a hint. Priestess circles sacred flame to purify her soul. What? Next page, please. The High Priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira, which have been purified with incense. Okay. I mean, it wasn't a hint, it was just telling me about it. Yes, it goes over it in detail. It's telling me anyway. Never mind. The Transformation Rite. The High Priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. The Rite of Water. Lady Kira enters the spring and the High Priest purifies her along with her dagger. The Rite of Fire. The priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. Indeed. It would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. The rite dictates that the High Priest stand in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern. Well, Barbed Head? Would you care to object? Of course. Because I know my client is innocent. So you say, you surely do not know when you are beaten, do you? I managed to pull it off last time with Albie. We just gotta do it again. I'll just have to do it again. You intend to find fault with her benevolence's insights yet again. It would seem lawyers are Polkunen creatures indeed, whatever the hell that means. Look at that prick. 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 What exactly is a Polkunen? Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak. Calling me a piece of shit. Very nice. They can call me anything they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth. So, Barbed Head, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave. We'll see. We'll see. Insight. Alright. Lay it on me. Rafer's insight. Oh. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused's approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. But he didn't. And also, they didn't step towards him. It looked as if he got pulled towards them. It did not look like they moved. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. He must have really been stabbed with some force. Oh, never mind. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed from our world. That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Shows where Maya and the High Priest were during the rite. Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Kira, the accused rushed the victim head-on, but they didn't. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. Yes, it is plain for all to see. No, it wasn't me. A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Kira's robes. Of course, the headshake. No, no, no. You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truths revealed by the Royal Priestess's divine insight. Ooh. Why I oughta. How did you end up finding contradictions last time? Oh god, don't give me a tutorial. Are you fucking serious? What? Why? The deceased's final memories include all 5 senses. Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the Pool of Souls. Looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim. Yeah, that's how it looked to me too. God. The one thing I don't like with both Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice is they don't know when the fuck to let go of my goddamn hand. It's like they're just far too tutorial heavy, I guess. It's just a nuisance. The sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafa's insights last time. So there could be contradictions between what Abbott in me felt and her insights, huh? You got it. I'm going to find them this time too. Should I check how to point out contradictions in Rafa's insights? No, just never. Can I just turn off tutorials? Jesus. I'd figure it out. So I don't hate it, but my god, it's an annoyance. It's like you know what you're doing, but the game's like, no, let me just tell you. Now I remember how it works. Still, the sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the ones from Alvi's trial. In which case, Right, so the victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused's approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. I just want to see this. Wind. Yeah, no footsteps. It looks like he got pulled to her, so I'm very confused. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed from our world. Alright, well the one that doesn't make sense would be that one. Wind. There we go. Footsteps. I believe you select and then choose. Sound.
Objection!
There are no footsteps. The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps. But did he really? What nonsense is this? Is it not abundantly clear? No, it's not, because there is something strange about those footsteps. Is it strange? Explain yourself, barbed head. The footsteps are strange because the timing doesn't make sense. They don't get louder. Oh! Wow, I was not even thinking about that. But yeah, they don't get louder. It's more from what we saw, it didn't look like they made footsteps. But yeah, they don't get louder. They're not getting any louder. Why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Aha, bitch. Aha! Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, your benevolence? Well, there must be a reason. She made a mess up. Again. I'll be like, not again! It is as they say. Even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn. What does that even mean? He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure. Still, we cannot discount this information solely on account of its lawyerly source. Your benevolence? Perhaps you must listen more carefully to the abbot's mitama. Listen more carefully. What's he talking about? Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation? I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communication with the mitama. I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before? By refining in sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered. To your detriment. O blessed mitama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call. Bells? Footsteps changed into bells. What could this mean? God knows. Bells, but the only bells at the scene of the crime were his own. That jingling must have come from Abbot Inme's bells. Yeah, he had them on his feet. You mean those big things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the High Priest's own footsteps. That means he walked towards her. So I was right. Then that means... if the footsteps belonged to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. The victim was the one who went running toward the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence's insight would have us believe. Oh! Oh, it's just the same. It probably updated information if I look at it, but whatever. But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe he was trying to defend himself. Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked. Oh, she's been embarrassed. Still your voices, this is nothing but a theory, and a poor one at that. Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation. While his insolence is inexcusable, he does raise a good point. I would ask that you calm yourself, your benevolence. Is there something you would care to say, Prosecutor Sadmardi? Even if it was Abbot Inme who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the High Priest to approach. Ah. And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It's as simple as that. Oh, right. It really doesn't change much, does it? Yes, it is as the prosecution has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well. Yeah, okay. Right, and that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it. Understand now, lawyer? That contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hone my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun. Oh, we'll just keep going. Oh, insight revised. The victim okay. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. So that changed. Okay, that's no different. See, the fact that it was Abbot Inme who moved changes nothing. Come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep your cool. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. I should focus on any sensations that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them and her insights. Okay. So the new testimony, I guess, is here. He rushed the accused, which would have been here, right? I'm ready on the pause button. What's new? We have the wind, and then the bells. Bells, bells. What? Water? Water? That would be from the fountain. Well, there we go. Another one. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. My smell. Oh, the smell is the incense.
Objection!
How would there be water if he's moving away from the fountain? Hold it. How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbot Inme would have adhered to them. Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes. I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The victims. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point. To say that he's in the fountain. What's this? It's simple. The victim must have stepped into some water. Oh? Yes. And the only source of water is in the inner sanctum. Is the spring. Our source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction. What contradiction? He shouldn't be in the fountain. I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Paul Gunker, that is absurd. This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insight indicates. God. Then, where do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. In the spring. Because it was only after a couple steps that it changed from bells to water.
Take that!
Ba, 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 ba. Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abbot Inme and Miss Fey were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in this Rites guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is, the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Fey had actually been standing in the water. But if this is true, then their positions would have been completely reversed. Inner sanctum... diagram... okay. It's just the details are getting updated, I think. I'll check. What is going on here, Miss Fey? Why is he asking her? I highly doubt she'll have an idea. God damn. I have 4 pages of shit. Jesus. Oh. Oh, so it's not even updating the information, it's just kind of changing the picture. Alright. Were you really standing in the spring? I'm sorry, but I don't remember. I barely remember anything about the rite. The High Priest would never make such an obvious blunder during a rite. What on earth? Is that even possible? Ooh. Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights. It doesn't? Let's say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions is what? That their positions differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. Oh yeah. I guess you have a point there. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster. Oof. Sounds like Princess Rafa has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. Oh Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Wait. Oh. Wait, what? We're going to black already? Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. Hot damn. That's another insight revised. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern. And then it just goes over the same. Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it. What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright? Nick. Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but Her Benevolence's insights have no further inadequacies of any kind. Yes, so it would seem. Oh, we'll find out. Wait a second, but there is another contradiction. God, I really don't like how silent it is. Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insights. The wind? Oh, it would have been, because it was on his right-hand side. That's right, we know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record, and confirm where Maya and Abbot Inmee were standing, and then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions and the insights. Yeah, it's definitely the position, I would say. So it'll probably be the same statement. Rush the accused, Springside Lantern. Just skip. What if I skipped ahead to this? Bells, water. Pain. Oh. Where did wind pop up? The lower right. I'm just trying to think. I'm pretty sure where it displays is kind of like which ear it's coming from. So wind on his right-hand side, which would make no sense, because the wind would only whistle through the broken lantern, which is on his left. It would have been on his right-hand side, to begin with. Yeah. That's all I could think. Let's see, does it change? Just goes wind. Wait, what was that? Oh god, I have to watch this again. Incense. Okay, it's just then flickering. Water. Pain. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the wind. It's all I can think. I mean, I don't know if it would actually count, because it's the fact he's hearing it. And I don't know if that actually has any bearing on it, on like which side it comes from. I don't think so, but I really don't know. What about, I've not actually seen all of these. No sense? No, the wind, yeah, the wind pops up there. When he's looking that way, toward the... I'll just go with the sound.
Objection!
Okay, that's not it. The music didn't cut out. Isn't this statement inconsistent with the vision? I don't see how. I think not. Exactly. No, I believe it is in the defense's thought process that the inconsistency lies. Yeah, as I say, I think the wind is just... It means he's hearing it. Just have to keep watching it, I guess. goes water and then pain. Shoot. Yeah. I just keep thinking it's the water. The wind. Oh! Oh, that's dirty. I mean, it does show wind. Oh, that's how it's inconsistent. That shouldn't be blowing, I think. Okay. I think? Oh god, I really don't know. Because it's not broken. The only one where the flame would be blowing would be the broken one.
Objection!
Okay, I got it. Whew. You always know, because the music cuts out. Your benevolence, I found a new contradiction. You did? No doubt it is but another of your vile attempts to slander my insights. Nope. Take a good look at what the victim saw. It just might change your mind. That was a clever one, because you have to pay attention to it. Especially given the fact you're looking for sensations, but it's actually a visual cue that you have to find. I like that one. It actually took me a bit to find it too. Normally I can get through these without making many mistakes. But yeah, I was on the right track, I just didn't notice the cue. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred. But there is something unusual. That lantern was not broken. No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then that lantern is the one to the right. Then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue. But neither of those are broken. I failed to see your point. My point is, something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. Now she'll notice. Like, uh-oh. Huh. She seems pretty tickled, Nick. I don't remember anything, or saying anything funny. I fail to see what you wish to prove here, but... Very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. Alright. God, O blessed Matama, I beseech you, fix your sight upon the lantern there. So it's going to become clearer? Ah! Uh-huh. That lantern doesn't have wind guard on it. And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within for the rite of fire. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering. Say what? But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on. That's because the police put them back on. The sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, defense. We could not risk them being extinguished, even during an investigation. That would never fly back home. Well, Bobhead, are you done quibbling? If so, then it is time to bow down before this testimony of the Matama. Well, I'm not giving up just yet. Nick, don't worry, Maya. I'm just getting started. Alright, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. The High Priest is thought to have been moving toward her. So I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement. I won't give up. I'm going to find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya. Right. Victim. Okay. Wait, it's broken. That's the broken one. I think? I really hope this works. Kabloosh. Not off. Jesus.
Objection!
Music cut out. Got it. Woohoo! That's just the best thing to look for. It's like, oh yeah, I got it, because the music cut out. But then if the music doesn't, you're like, ah, fuck. Well, punish me. What could this possibly mean? Yeah, because it's the broken one. That lantern clearly contradicts the insight. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. Are you alright, Mr. Wright? 1 minute you shout out, and then in the next you fall silent. Perhaps it is like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor? Said Marty. Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you've built so far, the only way is to keep moving forward. Because that's where you'll find the truth. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I found. Is that so? The lantern behind the accused clearly... no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken. And if you watch what Abbot in me saw in his final moments, he saw it before he read the scroll. Did he get turned around? You will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Fey is broken. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. He got turned around, I would guess. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in this seance vision. How could this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights? We're thinking. Let me start by saying, the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case I've built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? We'll get into it. Based on the broken lantern, we can tell... oh, there we go. Well, no, we can tell the positions of the lanterns. We know that the one he sees to begin with is the one in the bottom left, and then the one that he sees otherwise is the one to the top right. So yeah, it's not Maya and Abbot in me's positions, it's the lantern's positions. The correct positions of the lanterns. Did you not just explain that yourself? Oh. It is Maya and Abbot in me's. No! Oh wait, yeah. Whoops. I keep thinking that it was both Maya that was praying and also in the robes. But that would just be saying that she did it. No, what we know is that Maya was near the broken one, and Lady Kira was near the intact one. Oh, there we go. And that is where the accused and the victim were standing. I should probably read this, because I get kind of fucked up. The fact that there was a broken lantern does not change anything. I beg to differ, your majesty. There is one thing it makes clear. Okay, and then it just chooses the other option. Where the accused and the victim were standing. But did you not just... oh yeah, did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premise. Well, technically all we know is where Lady Kira was standing. But thankfully it has led us here. To the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. So basically, during the rite there were two different people. There was Maya, and then whoever was in Lady Kira's robes. I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertions in such a capricious manner, its credibility may come into question. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing. Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing. Based on the location of the broken lantern, where was Maya really standing? I would probably say, like, here. Close to the entrance. I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be, according to custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No. This is where things take a different turn, and I mean that literally. The victim had to have been moving toward the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned toward the accused. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. He had the scroll. Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed until now. No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big? It's when he's reading the scroll. There was a moment when the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was in fact turning around in that moment. Uh-oh. If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence's insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that? I don't need to explain anything, because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Sadmadi. Her benevolence's insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. Such insolence. We're like picking a fight. A huge error, you say? Do explain. The huge error is the number of people there. The number of people there. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. That's when he was stabbed. This cannot be. Oh, but it can, and it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind this testimony of the dead. Oh, is that Paul Kunker? Oh, even he's... Yeah! God, that's twice we debunked it. Little messy on my part, I will admit. I made a few mistakes, a few slight mess-ups. I just didn't know what I was doing. For some reason. No, normally I'm pretty good, but I was just dead set on the wind. What was the other one? Oh yeah, and the lantern positions. That one was just stupid. Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime? Have I misunderstood the voice of the Mitama yet again? This cannot be. God, that took her a long time to hit the floor. Phew, that was a close one. But I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance visions somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. Nice. I still only have 3 chances, though. Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Yes, I shall place my trust in you. Wow, she looks so defeated. Shit. My bad. Are you sure about this, prosecutor? Said Marty. Oh, now it's personal. My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. And in that time I have learned to perform last rites for souls in trials lacking a séance. Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry. Or inquiry. Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. Emma! I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen. I guess he really does think highly of Emma and her forensic expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. And again, he is an international prosecutor who's solved tough cases around the world. Time to hunker down, huh? Now then, let's continue with today's proceedings. Could the defense please tell us who the third party dressed as Lady Kira was? Your new claim has negated the insights of the Royal Priestess. So I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct? Yes, of course. This third party must have really wanted to kill the High Priest. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent. Oh, the warning. Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright. The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this. Oh wait, is that the warning? Oh, that's the bloodstained letter. That's the warning. Boom. There are holes in rows all over it, yeah. Oh, do not perform the rite. I know what you are planning. It doesn't really show the murderous intent, though. But, sure.
Take that!
That's all I got. 3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual. He did? Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the High Priest. The letter said, do not perform the rite. But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the High Priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Wow, we just pulled that out of our ass. Sheesh. Peace. No, bye. I don't understand. I had heard the Lady Kira that has been in the news of late only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the High Priest? Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the High Priest had secretly been a rebel? Oh god, I probably shouldn't say this. The High Priest? He couldn't possibly have been a rebel. The High Priest, a devout follower of Kyrienism, a rebel? Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you? I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible. The third party was the rebel-hunting Lady Kira, and the High Priest was a rebel. Your mockery of Kyrienism? No. That the kingdom of Kyrien itself knows no bounds. Oops. That shameless Bolkunkan lawyer, he's making a mockery of our religion. He isn't, he's just posing a theory. We don't actually know if it's the case. Calm your tits. As a faithful Kyrienist, I take issue with these claims. And I am loath to admit them into today's proceedings. I don't like where this is going. The defense's claims are but vile blasphemy tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother. Is it really that big of a deal, Maya? Abbot in me was a distinguished monk, and very well respected too, so yeah. Ugh. Please don't let this turn into an international incident. But fear not, good people of Kyrien. The rantings of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites. Ooh. So much pressure, he stopped the music. The prosecution's assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged. But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. How was that possible when he had his back turned towards Miss Fair? Somebody else must have killed him. Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid head. The karmic flow of this trial is, as yet, still in my hands. How can he be so confident? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. Okay. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's doubts. An eyewitness. Very well. Let us call this eyewitness to the stand. An eyewitness. Fun. Oh god. Who is this? Oh, it's that guy. It's him again. Well, no. He has to be the shaggiest witness I have ever laid eyes upon. Please state your name and occupation. Oh, I'm... you know, so-and-so, whatchamacallit. That fucking smirk. Wait. Oh my god, I've just realised what his name what it is. When you say it out loud, it's Anonymous. Anonymous TBD. At least that's what they've been calling me. TBD? As in to be determined? Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac. Therefore, he is useless. I named him Anonymous TBD in my report, but he thinks TBD is part of his name.
Objection!
You're letting an amnesiac testify? Have no fear, I've already questioned him at length. While it is true he has totally forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact. Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. Emus, please tell us what you saw. I swear, they've got the most creative names for this game. Fucking Anonymous, to rust in me, and then believe in me. There's too many. The night of the murder. That night I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right of the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused. Stab the high priest with a dagger. Holy crap, that mouth. Damn. That's massive. He's got one hell of a mouth. There's no way you saw Miss Faye stab the victim with the dagger. I swear I don't know what he's talking about. Or don't remember at any rate. You can't even see into the inner sanctum, can you? Like, I'm almost certain you can't. Mount Pony Pony, the beautiful mountain that is also known as the Little Sanctum. Yeah, how... There's 12 meters in it, so there's no way he'd have been able to see. I don't think, anyway. They must be talking about that smaller mountain in the from the poster. I guess so. Mr. Emus, I was wondering. What can I do for you? Or do you for? The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened from the mountaintop next to it? Good point. His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Emus? On the day of the rite, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day. Nick, don't we have the newspaper for that day? Yeah, let's take a look. Perfectly clear. Area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warm temperature will make for excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front moving overnight. It does say calm, clear skies, doesn't it? I still don't think he'd be able to see, though. See, told you so. May the 9th. I still don't know how he'd have seen, unless he climbed the tree. Well, it would appear the witness has offered testimony worth hearing. Mr. Emis, I too have a question for you. Didn't he already question the witness? Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot. How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it underhanded, its blade protruding from the butt? Oh, pardon me. Its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand. Yep, I believe she was. It's called a reverse grip. Ah. I thought as much. How the hell would that be an abdomen?
Hold it!
Hold it right there. What bearing does that have on the case? Is he gonna say she stabbed him in the abdomen from behind? Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer. Jesus. Do you not see the significance in how the blade was held? Why don't you enlighten me, oh enlightened one? Heh. I knew you were a fool. I can already picture you in your next life. Next life? Yes. After your soul writhed for centuries in the pits of hell. You shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin, with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live a short, inconsequential life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter. That was a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case. Now pay attention. How the accused held the dagger is of vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what actions she took. You were saying that the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct? Yes. As such, the accused's dagger grip tells us something very important. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip. Yeah, I thought as much. What? Yeah, I figured that was going to be what he was going to, bring up. Thus, Mr. Emis's testimony clears up any doubts that might remain. And it coincides with her benevolence's insights as well. This is a disaster. I thought I'd blown those insights out of the water, but now they're back to haunt me. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Testimony finally? Cross-examination. I'd already testified. Shit. The night of the murder. So that night I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the Inner Sanctum.
Hold it!
Are you sure you're not mistaken, Mr. Emis? Was it really Mount Pony Pony you climbed? Oh, I'm sure of it. It was really a Pony Pony-ish mountain. What does that even mean? You know, now that I think about it, it was a mighty fine view. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. Do I have anything that would contradict? Wait a minute, isn't that the mountain? Isn't that Pony Pony? Right, okay. Oh, there we go. Three-part ceremony held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. Like, it mentions it, that doesn't really help though. Do I present? Climbed up there to pray in peace. Sure, go over it. It mentions it, that's all that matters. Wrong! As soon as the music doesn't cut out, I'm like, okay. Oh, I'm going to prove I'm right. Oh! Oh! Okay, this is different. Objection, that statement is inconsistent with this piece of evidence. Let it go and move on, abandon this folly. You know very well your evidence proves nothing. Nice try, but you can't make me give up. I'm going to prove I'm right. You can point your finger as much as you want, but you're simply wasting your time. Oh, right, that isn't it. I thought it was. It's the fact it was different. I was like, no! To see a lawyer who doesn't know when he is beat. You just need to hang in there a little longer. Okay. So I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace.
Hold it!
If you hate crowds, why bother climbing to the top? Couldn't you have just as easily prayed at the bottom of Mount Pony Pony? Wrong, bucko. This is a once-a-year epic event. I wanted to pray as close to the actual thing as possible. If you're so gung-ho about it, why didn't you go pray at the Plaza of Devotion? Like I said, I hate crowds. I wanted to pray in peace. Oh, Holy Mother. Why do I only get the annoying ones? And my burning faith demanded that I climb up the mountain closest to the inner sanctum. Also... I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around...
Hold it!
Since nobody was around, there is nobody who can corroborate your actions either. Hey-ho, you're exactly right. In that case, Mr. Emus, let me ask you this. Was there a reason you didn't want to be seen? About that. If you get caught climbing the surrounding mountains on the day of the rite, you can get in big, big trouble. This guy's alright, weirdo. That's it. Yeah, it's totally embarrassing getting yelled at when you're a grown-up. Yeah, you're a real grown-up, alright. And since nobody was around, I lost all inhibition, and I used my binoculars to spy on the rite at the inner sanctum. Oh! It does come into play. He can't.
Objection!
God, fuck me, I'm stupid. Oh, I was just presenting shit, 'cause I was like, yeah, this. God, Jesus. I'm really like... I wouldn't say I'm struggling, but my god, I'm doing bad. Your Majesty. I had my doubts about this bushy-bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him. What? You ain't just judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are you? Not at all, Mr. Emus. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony. His testimony, you say? Yes. Recall how the inner sanctum was that day. For starters, the mountain is 12 meters higher, and it also had a curtain. Specifically, that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain. Why yes, I believe you're right. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pony Pony. Therefore, he couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen. Hoo-ha! Mr. Emus, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court? You got me. The witness will lower his voice. I didn't actually see the accused herself. Oh my god. He didn't actually see the accused herself. What's that supposed to mean? Let me set the record straight, I beg you. Okay, go for it, brah. Okay, so now we have another testimony. The night of the murder, amended. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that... by the light of the moon on that clear and still night. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping that dagger. Oh. Now I present the rights guide. Shadows. That's what you saw? That's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected onto the ritual curtain. In the future, Mr. Amos, I would rather you offer up accurate testimony from the start. Forgive me, my main man, Mr. Magistry. Chalk it up to my fuzzy memory. Though he saw but shadows, it is still a valuable testimony. You have to be kidding me. What are we going to do now, Nick? All I can think is to look for inconsistencies between the actual rite and what Mr. Amos says he saw. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more. Yeah, now I think I present the ritual guide. They wouldn't be casting any shadows his way. Because the moon it comes from, like, Mount Pony side. So the shadows would be cast toward the right-hand side of the inner sanctum. He's making it seem like the moon would come from the inner sanctum side. That's my idea, anyway.
Hold it!
Baba, baba. So what you saw was simply shadows. That's right. Those shadow figures on that bright white curtain. They showed through plain as day. I could see everything that happened. But Miss Vane, Abbott, and me were at the top of a mountain late at night. The only light up there was something from 4 small lanterns. How could the shadows have been projected that clearly onto the curtain? Oh, now he's going, well, no wonder people harp on you lawyers. You're always so dang skeptical. The lanterns weren't the only source of light, you know. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. So at ceremony end... No, wait, where is it? When the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony. He was on that. Yeah, they would have cast the shadow to the other side of the inner sanctum. So that is right. Oh.
Objection!
You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight. Sorry, but that's just not possible. What do you mean? How is it not possible that it was totally possible? That's impossible. I think I'm going to need a logical Lee's translation on that. Let's take a look at this rites guide, shall we, Mr. Enos? The rite is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony. Doo-doo-doo. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. But Mr. Enos was standing to the west of the inner sanctum on Mount Pony. Oh, holy mother. That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain. No way. I quite like this guy. Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast the shadows he saw. I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Enos claims to have seen. But I did see those silhouettes, really. But how could he, Nick? Maybe he was someplace where they were visible. Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty. If Mr. Amos really did see those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light. That would be... The brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Amos really did see those shadows is... he didn't see the murder. He was somewhere else. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. Oh? Then where do you propose the witness was? Someplace where he could have seen the shadow figures, naturally, my dear Watson. Wait, you mean... Oh, I do. None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place he could have clearly seen the shadows from. And where might that be? This is where Mr. Amos was at the time of the murder. The High Priest, the Plaza... Inner Sanctum. Oh god, I don't know. Are we painting him as the murderer? I don't want to say the wrong one. Wait a minute! I wonder if he was, like, at the Inner Sanctum but stood on them. I hope that was right. Oh, there we go. Mr. Amos was at the Inner Sanctum, just outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures. Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that. But wasn't the Inner Sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused? And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that's a subject Prosecutor Seth Marty would rather not touch right now. Ah, you mean... That's right, this witness was at the scene of the crime. Which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could be the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest. What? No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the Inner Sanctum. And the only way up there are the stairs that start down at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred space? Oh, he must have, I haven't thought that far ahead. The sanctum has sheer cliffs on three sides and a steep towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs. His Majesty speaks true. To say Mr. Amos was at such an inaccessible location is but a bid to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right? Right, I wasn't at the Inner Sanctum, no sir, no how. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't. But then, what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen? I'm starting to think I've been imagining things. What? This is insane. Oh my god. I know we couldn't trust that lawyer. He's trying to frame the witness. Peace, I say. This is impossible. Unless I can show how he got to the Inner Sanctum. It just looks like I'm trying to slender Mr. Amos. I believe in you, Nick. Oh my god. Oh, that's good. Rah rah, sis bumbar, fight, Phoenix Wright. Just look at the accused. Has she no shame? What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know. She's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind. Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself for now. Rah rah, sis bumbar. That's the best. I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts. Yes, Your Majesty. If I wasn't the bad guy before, I definitely am now. Now, Mr. Amos. I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night. Oh. Ding ding. I wasn't at the Inner Sanctum. I was never at the Inner Sanctum, I tell ya. That much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. I guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the Inner Sanctum like he claims, but... Now, will you desist in trying to frame this innocent witness? Yeah, I'd like to see you explain how we got up there. Mr. Wright, is it not time to end these cross-examinations? A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means that for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in hell. Communism is the strictest religion ever. Just so you know, you've already accrued 200 million extra years. Plus the 500 million years they started with, that's 700 years of torment. Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take? Well, it's a big deal to me. I can't keep saying that the witness was there at the Inner Sanctum if I can't prove it. The problem is, how am I going to do that? Oh, you just do this thing called press. And do nothing but press. I wasn't at the Inner Sanctum. I was never at the Inner Sanctum, I tell ya. How do I know? Are you sure you weren't there? All I'm sure of is that you're deeply skeptical. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are all lawyers always like this? Most certainly. They always try to pin crimes on innocent witnesses without any proof whatsoever. They are no better than bacteria or viruses. Yikes. You mean he's contagious? He's gonna give me lawyeritis. Ha ha ha! Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Oh Jesus. Phew, that was a close one. He almost put me there at the scene of the crime when I wasn't even there. Why the fuck did he break out the lizards? That much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory. You just said your memory was fuzzy. I sure did. What's the big deal? I'll tell you what. Your testimony isn't very credible if your memory of the events is fuzzy. Oh, no worries there. My memory may be fuzzy, but I'm very clear on one thing. Here we go again. If you ask me whether or not I remember what I did that night, I'd say I do. In short, you are confident that your testimony is true. Is that correct, Mr. Enos? Exactly. Guess you don't get to be a judge for nothing. So in closing, I can clearly say that I was totally not there. This is just like a joke character, he's gotta be. Besides, it would have been possible to get there in the first place. Wonder if it really was impossible for you to get to the Inner Sanctum. You have something to say, say it. Or just say it. Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention? No, there isn't. Which means there is. Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us. I don't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory, though. Time to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the Inner Sanctum without attracting any attention, he fell from the sky, he climbed the cliff. Ooh! Wait. Wait a minute. Oh god, I don't think I have a map, do I? Yeah, it's that. Is that the escapee? I mean, given the fact of insurgent leadership and former paratrooper. Oh, shit's starting to make sense. He fell from the sky. Maybe you fell from the sky. I mean, looking at what he has. The goggles. He probably did just paratroop down. Or, you know, fall down. The lawyer thinks he's a comedian now. I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it. Mr. Emus could have, parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear, and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. Oh, the look on your face when I turn out to be right. If I turn out to be right. It's kind of a shot in the dark. Now that you've been backed into a corner, your delusions grow even more delusional. However, he was a parrot. There is a prison up there! Oh. So he did. And we heard about the escaped prisoner. And this guy just so happens to be an amnesiac. It all just kind of like fits together. The Inner Sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall. One misstep and a skydiver would soon find themselves in the Twilight Realm. What if they were an experienced paratrooper? Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was, even I couldn't have made that jump. Wait, what's this building on top of the Sacred Mountain? That is Royal Penitentiary, number 4. Oh right, Princess Rafer mentioned there was a prison up there. How do you get your prisons up there, anyway? By helicopter, but only with authorization from the Minister of Justice. He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the Inner Sanctum. Yeah, I remembered about Rafer mentioning a prison. Might I also add, defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving has been found. You saying I flew down there by flapping my arms? Is that what the flags were? Oh my god, it's a makeshift fucking parachute. Oh wow. It totally is. Oh shit. Yeah. Wow, okay. I may be an incredible dude, but even I'm not capable of that. Ugh. Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Emus. It's not like I can fly through the air either. Well, you can with the aid of this. The Sanctum Prayer Flags.
Objection!
Mr. Emus is right. He couldn't have skydived down there without any gear. Well now, finally come around, have you? Now you see that I couldn't have possibly been there at the Inner Sanctum. Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is. What on earth are you talking about? That overreaction is a dead giveaway that I'm on the right track. Take a look at this piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they've been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute. Paul Kunker. The people of Korine are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation. No, this cannot be. The witness landed at the Inner Sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Emus? There's no way out. I'm surrounded. Mr. Emus? All this talk struck my memory. I guess I was there at the Inner Sanctum after all. His memory's just all over the place. I was there. No, I wasn't. Yes, I was. Maybe. Who knows? As I suspected, there were 3 people there that night. You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all. Thanks. Mr. Emus. You were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you? What? No way, no how. It's like, oh yeah. I was only there at the Inner Sanctum by accident. By accident? Exactly. And that thing's not a parachute. It's a homemade paraglider. Paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material? It may not look like much, but it's as sturdy as can be. I rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point. But then something happened that forced me to land at the Inner Sanctum. So you just happened to land there. You expect me to believe that? Now, please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the Inner Sanctum is crucial testimony indeed. And it certainly warrants further explanation. Oh. Explication. Therefore, let's continue with the testimony. Or with more testimony. Jesus. So now his testimony is... why I was at the Inner Sanctum. That evening I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Pony Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the Inner Sanctum. As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the Inner Sanctum purely by accident. By accident, eh? Is that true? Mr. Emus, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning. Can't be helped. I mean, I'm just remembering it now. Continue such slipshod testimony and you will be cast into the hell of hangnails. Ooh. Oh god. Oh god. That actually sounds fucking terrible. Oh god. I don't think nobody likes hangnails. They fucking suck. And they really hurt. Wait. Oh, I've just realised it doesn't make sense either. Where you shall have. Oh no, that makes sense. Never mind. I'm just dumb. Where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years. Oh. I think I'll pass on that. Yeah, you do right. Looks like that caught Prosecutor said Marty off guard. This is my chance to rip his case to shreds. Whew. Alright. That evening I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. Press everything. Till he says something stupid. You're enjoying a trek through the night sky with your homemade paraglider? You didn't go to pray? A devout Koranist like me can pray anywhere, even while flying through the sky. Well, I wouldn't recommend you try it. You're bound to end up dead. Paraglider? I didn't see anything like that. That's because of the ritual curtain. It blocked your view. You should have seen me majestically soaring between the mountains. Really? What do you think, Nick? Don't ask me. I was really enjoying that flight. At first, anyway. Why does he become all, like, shaky when he mentions an accident? Just as Mount Funny was drawing near, something terrible happened. Something terrible happened? Exactly. And when I say terrible, I mean terrible. What? Was there something unexpected near Mount Pony Pony? What was it again? Wait, you don't remember? Let's just say it was terrible. Okay. Yeah, there. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the Inner Sanctum. What exactly was this accident you had? Good question. Now, what was it again? Wind? Oh yeah, it was the wind. Not just any wind, but a sudden gale force wind made me lose control. The wind was strong enough to make you lose control. You got that right. Okay then, please add that to your testimony. But I thought it was clear skies and no winds. Gale force winds came out of nowhere, so I made an emergency landing at the Sanctum. What does the weather report say? Oh, there it is, the escaped prisoner. A male insurgent who escaped the Royal Penitentiary number 4 yesterday. The area around the Inner Sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warmer temperature will make for an excellent prayer weather. All it said it will move to a cold front. Or a cold front will move in, that's it. Like, no gale force winds.
Objection!
Full of shit, mate. I was about to say there's something on my screen, then I realised it's my cursor. It's hovering over Phoenix's eye. We have a saying in my country, Mr. Amos. One lie begets another. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? That you lied. It means someone caught lying will lie again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie you're telling to cover your tracks. What did you just say? You claimed gale force winds cause you to lose control. But this newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says, the area around the Inner Sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. Paul Gunker. Well, I do believe it does say that. Yeah, I'm not lying. One lie begets another. That makes sense, but... is it really a saying back home? I've never heard of it. Yeah, I kinda made that one up. For real. Your Majesty. The witness's testimony contains another flaw, one that's even more fatal to his cause. One more fatal, you say? The defense will explain himself at once. Mr. Amos claims he was flying up around the Inner Sanctum with his paraglider, but it would have been impossible to get all the way up there without any wind. Why yes, I believe you're right. Well, we know the witness was at the Inner Sanctum, so... Mr. Emus, how did you get there? And from where? That's completely a disguise, isn't it? The beard and the hair, I get the feeling it's just a disguise. Without any wind, he couldn't have flown up there from the bottom of the mountain. By process of elimination, the only starting point that makes any sense is the top of the mountain. Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the inner sanctum, Mr. Emus must have launched himself from here. Oh god, I can't get up there. Shit. There we go. Whoosh. Are you insane? That's where he came from? If he couldn't have come from below, the only other option is from above. So you see, Anonymous came down from Royal Penitentiary number 4. From there, he could have easily reached the inner sanctum by parachute. And that means he might have also killed the High Priest. What? Mr. Emus, were you the third party at the inner sanctum? And the one behind the warning to halt the rite that the victim received? Was it you we saw in his final memory? Are you the rebel hunter Lady Kira? Damn. I'm going to guess no, he isn't, given that reaction. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sir, help me out here. You did it. You finally left him speechless. Oh, come on, Mr. Prosecutor, man. Quiet, you fool. You should use this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. Jesus. For a fate far worse than hangnail hell awaits you now. Hangnail hell sounds terrible. Well done, defense. I must concede this point to you. The witness did, in fact, descend to the inner sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4. Huh? He didn't even put up a fight this time. That's awfully generous of him. But if you are as perceptive as you seem, then surely you've already figured out the riddle. The riddle of Anonymous's true identity. Oh, his true identity? Not sure I know quite yet, but I guess I'll have to answer with something. It would seem I'm the only one still in the dark here. Will the defense care to enlighten me? Who is this man we've been calling Anonymous? The witness's true identity is... was it Dars or something? I can't remember. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's Arabelle. That's Amore. There he is. Is this really him? Only now do you realise the truth. I've known it all along. Well, please do share with us your belated insight. What's wrong, Nick? Why are you holding back? Because this isn't going to be very helpful to our case. Really? Are you sure? Unfortunately, I've got no other choice. That scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off. But it's all becoming clear now. The nighttime base jump from the mountaintop prison. The precision landing at the inner sanctum using only a handmade parachute. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. Isn't that right? This witness is Dats Arabelle, prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group. What? Is that a disguise, though? Or does he just have a really long beard and full head of hair? The witness is an escaped prisoner? Precisely. The police have been scouring every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was, under our noses the entire time. Hoo-ha! Didn't think anyone would see through my clever disguise. But the witness's charade is not all that has been chatted. It is... or is it, defense? Boy, do I hate this guy. Please recall the defense's own words. Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the High Priest. The letter said, do not perform the rite. But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the High Priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. He claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira. Yeah, and what's your point? That the guy is a rebel, so he won't be a rebel hunter? What if the witness is your identity? Yeah, he's a rebel. Why is he giving me a flashback? This literally just happened. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper could have pulled that off. The witness is That's Arabelle, prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group. Ba-bum. Oh no. He is a rebel and an escaped prisoner. He could not possibly have been Lady Kira, mortal enemy of the rebels. No! We're finished. Now perhaps the witness will enlighten us to the truth. After all, he has yet to refute any of this. Hoo-ha. You got me. I'm the razor-sharp fangs of the Defiant Dragons. I do like that little smirk. That's Arabelle. Boom! When did you get your memory back? He never had amnesia. Oh, he did have amnesia. Oh, around the time you guys were talking about there being no wind. But you gotta give me credit for making up all that testimony off the top of my head. Are you prepared to tell us the truth now? Well, it's sure I parachuted down to the inner sanctum. But I banged my head on impact, and ended up unconscious outside the ritual curtain. In short, all my eyewitness testimony was a big fat lie. A big fat lie? Oh damn. Oh, and by the way, long time no see, UT. Oh. Oh. Wait, they know each other? Your Majesty, this filthy rebel belongs in a jail cell. Oh yes, of course. Bailiff, seize him at once. Seems you really have forgotten about the will of the dragon. Huh, UT. But I haven't, and no dogs of the Garan regime are gonna lay a finger on me. Okay. God, he has the power to just stop music. Deploy all available resources. I want all units placed on high alert. Damn, they really don't want him to get away. Hi, Alice. How's it going? The escaped prisoner escaped again. It would seem. The police force has been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long. An escaped prisoner who's escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony. Talk about a troublemaker. He really pulled a number on all of us. What was the point of all that anyway? Well, I can't help but feel that entire episode was an enormous waste of time. The game is great. It's Ace Attorney, what's not to love? You're solving murders, making lots of fuck-ups if you're me. It's great. Your Majesty. Also, I'll respond now. Perhaps it was not as great of a waste as you might believe. What makes you say that, Prosecutor Sandwich? Yeah, that works. Darts Arabelle dropped something as he made his escape from these halls. Ooh. And it was... Oh, it's the other... Wait, is that the other half of the letter? That scrap of paper looks awfully familiar. I answered. I said the game's great. How do you not hear me? These appear to be direct orders from Dirk. From Dirk, the rebel leader? But we only have a small corner of it. I have the other half. Or quarter. Wait, I remember now. I thought that was the full letter, though. Your Majesty, I've seen that scrap of paper before. You have? Indeed. The scrap of paper Dat Arabelle dropped is part of this, but this doesn't look like it's ripped. I mean, it's covered in blood, but it's not ripped. No, whatever.
Take that!
Booyah! And this is... it's a blood-stained letter. I found it at the scene of the crime. Where was it? I think it was near... the High Priest's body, maybe? Or like the outline of his body. It appears to be a copy of the order that Mr. Arabelle dropped. If we put the two together, we should be able to read what the order says. Ooh, mystery. Oh, there we go. Oh my. And what does it say, Mr. Wright? Don't know. Can't read Chinese. There we go. I can't read Chinese. I was gonna say Sad Marty should be able to. Prosecute Sad Marty, if you please. The ignorant lawyer has not bothered to learn our language. Very well then. I mean, to be fair, we only came here for a social visit. And we got dragged into court. I do not understand. Well, you can't read it either, eh, genius? Well, what does it say? Using the lamplights as a landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was to don Lady Kira's robes and make his escape. What? That is how he was to escape from prison? So if I were to assume that Mr. Arabelle was the one who killed the High Priest, then maybe it was because Abbot in me tried to thwart his escape plan. Oh, foul lawyer. I'm afraid that is simply ludicrous. Huh? But I didn't say anything. Did you just read my mind? I know how your putrid mind works. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the rebels' escape plan has been revealed, it is clear that Dat Arabelle is not the High Priest's killer. How can you be so sure? I mean, to be fair, he didn't... oh no, he did read what the note said. If only you would use that putrid brain of yours every once in a while. Dat Arabelle's plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual. What do you mean? I am speaking of Abbot in me, of course. Had Dat Arabelle simply donned Lady Kira's robes and made his escape alone, he would have been far too conspicuous. But were he by the High Priest's side... well, that didn't stop the music. The faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is, therefore, unthinkable that Dat Arabelle was the High Priest's killer. Oh, he's just trying to think, or trying to come up with a way to pin it on Maya. So then you're saying the High Priest was a... oh, I cannot bear to say it. I'm afraid it is so. He numbered among the rebels who threaten our kingdom. So the High Priest was a rebel. How could this be? Oh! The High Priest a rebel? There must be some kind of mistake. Interesting. Let it go and move on. So what we said that was preposterous, or that's the reaction we got for everything, seems to actually have been true. Accept the truth, it is the only way. And that goes double for you, Defense. Hey, we're the one that proposed he was a rebel. So I want to hear it. Cease your futile battle now. And why should I? Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we have eliminated Dat Arabelle from our list of suspects, there's only one person that still remains. The accused, Maya Fey. Hold it right there. Criminal scum. Aren't you forgetting something important? Something important? Please do explain, Defense. We can't end this trial without looking into third party, the arrow, the murder weapon. Ooh. Yeah, the third person. I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Kira we saw in the seance vision. If it wasn't Dat Arabelle, then who was it?
Objection.
That matter has already been resolved. It has? What's he talking about? It is as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the seance vision.
Objection!
But there was another lady, Kira, there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her. I did throw them. Hey, that's a different animation. What the? I can't do my finger point. No! Uh-oh. He's gonna rip my arm off. Oh god. He actually is. Jesus. It's time to let it go and move on. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your arm. This hardly seems fair. It's quite simple once you consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring with his back to the accused, what would he see ahead? Besides the water itself, there is nothing but the Warbard statue. Precisely. The Lady Kira we saw in the seance is the Warbard statue draped in her sacred robes. No way! Oh. The accused wanted the false Lady Kira to appear in the seance vision. Before she came from behind and stabbed the victim with the dagger in a reverse grip. But why would the accused want to do something like create a false Lady Kira? To show it to the victim as he was being slain. And what reason would the accused have to fool the victim she was about to kill? It was not the victim she was trying to fool. It was the seance vision. It was this very court itself. Come again? Suspicion would not fall on the accused if it looked as if another Lady Kira was there. And the defense was foolish enough to fall for it and claim it was a third party in disguise. Are you saying... I am. It was all a cleverly wicked scheme perpetrated by the accused. Where the hell did he get those beads? A scheme in which she sought to use the seance vision to mislead us. God, where the hell do they pull this shit from? This can't be happening. What a face you are making, Defense. I'm surprised you were taking this so hard. After all, did I not clearly state a while back that you were chasing after naught but a deluded fantasy? I don't know why I said that so weirdly. A deluded fantasy? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. Oh my god, he did, he knew. You're telling me he knew this is how it would turn out all the way back then? And he was just waiting for the most effective moment to spring it on me? Do you understand now? I have had you dancing in the palm of my hand this entire time. It can't be. This is an outrage. You took our royal priestess's sacred divination seance, and used it to commit this most foul and despicable murder. No, I did nothing of the sort. Maya. Nick, it's not true. I didn't. Goddamn. Cease this ugly display. Your fate is sealed now that the facts have been exposed. Your Majesty, the time has come to convict this criminal who only seeks to taint the sacred hall. Indeed. It seems this trial is over. Hold it! Does the defense wish to offer up yet another counter-argument or something? The accused is not the killer. And, here's why. Now what do I do? I've got nothing. It would appear that the defense has run out of arguments to make. I thought for sure that that rebel was the killer. The only person with a possible motive, the one dressed as Lady Kira, has vanished. And I've got nothing to use against Prosecutor Sadmadi's argument. Damn it, I can't lose now, not like this. Oh, very well then, I shall now render my verdict. Wait. Please wait, I'm begging you. It is time to let it go and move on. The charge need not be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charge filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense Culpability Act against the defense. Now then. This court finds the accused, Maya Fey, and the defense, Phoenix Wright, guilty. I'm really hoping that's scripted and I didn't fuck up. Ooh. Your Majesty, please forgive the interruption, but... Whoa. Wait a minute. What is the meaning of this? A body has been found. In the Plaza of Devotion, Your Majesty. Uh-oh. What's this? A body? What happened now? And we found this, sticking out of the victim. Why, that's Lady Kira's Warbar dagger. Oh, there we go. Lady Kira, she has returned from the Twilight Realm once more. She has come to defeat the rebels. That just proves that it's not Maya. Well, it would seem the dagger that was once lost has now been found. I have one more thing to report, Prosecutor Sadmardi. Yes? This dagger... oh crap, never mind. It bears the fingerprints of Maya Fey on it. What? But... why would Maya's prints be on it? Even he has nothing to say. I cannot believe it, yet it must be true. Is something the matter, Prosecutor Sadmardi? This trial has run its course and the accused's guilt has been firmly established. However, it would seem the defense was right about one thing. I was? You claim that the murder at the Inner Sanctum had been carried out by the rebel hunter masquerading as Lady Kira. I did say something to that effect, but what of it? Prosecutor Sadmardi, are you suggesting what I think you are? I believe the true identity of the rebel hunter who has been masquerading as Lady Kira is none other than the accused, Miss Maya Fey. What? This is what? How would she have killed somebody? She's been here with us the entire time. Oh my god. I realise how shocking this must seem. Looking back, however, I now realise there was much that pointed to this fact. The rebel hunting Lady Kira was first sighted about 2 years ago. And the accused first came to our kingdom 2 years ago as well. Oh shit. Why, the timing matches perfectly. But there is more. That warning letter was found in the High Priest's bedroom 3 days before the fire. Oh dear. Despite his house being locked up tight that night.
Objection!
How does that prove anything?
Objection!
Okay. It is difficult to believe an intruder could have found a way to enter such a secure house. However, the accused was known to come and go freely there. Mainly to prepare for the purification rite. Abbot Inme was an important figure with a ton of duties, including training acolytes. He was really kind, even to a foreigner like me. He even invited me over to his house whenever I was between training sessions. The accused could have easily left the house unlocked for herself without anyone noticing. Only someone capable of entering the priest's home could have delivered it. Oh dear. If we assume that the accused was Lady Kira, that more than establishes her motive for killing the High Priest. She's the rebel hunter. Yes, the victim was secretly an insurgent, bent on helping Dat's Arabelle escape after all. Precisely. That made him a target of Lady Kira's wrath. And after killing the High Priest, she then unleashed her divine justice on another rebel. So it seems the scope of this case has expanded. We now have two murders perpetrated by Miss Maya Fey, masquerading as Lady Kira. But it's a load of bullshit. If Miss Fey is indeed a serial killer, it would affect the severity of her punishment. In light of this, I believe the second murder must be investigated before we can proceed. As you wish, Your Majesty. That saved me. Maya Fey, I hereby charge you with this second murder. May your defiled soul feel the weight of your sins. A new murder charge on top of a guilty verdict. It seems the defense will live to see one more day. Talk about hanging on by a thread. Come tomorrow, a far more terrible punishment awaits you. I hereby suspend these proceedings so that the second murder may be investigated. Until the conclusion of this new investigation, this court is adjourned. Hooray! Oh my god, that took 2 hours. Phew, I really did fuck up a lot though. I made it through. Which means when we get back to court, I'll have 5 more tries. So it's all good. No, I don't know. Might just be the fact that it's, 2 AM. Or just the fact that I forgot how this game works. Could be either. Either or. Okay. Well, that is going to be the end of this session. Next session, I'll more than likely aim to finish the episode. We'll see whether I can finish the case or not, but that's my hope. But regardless, that is going to be the end of this session. Thanks so much for watching, I hope you have enjoyed, and until next time, take care. And for those who stopped by the stream, thanks for stopping by, much appreciated. Have a good day, and I'll see you next stream.